Hello, and welcome to an all-new episode, a special episode of the Spotlight. I am one of your hosts, Kente, all the way live from Los Angeles, California, and this is the special before the season 13 premiere. And this one is we're going to talk about a couple of movies. One is Batman versus Superman, as well as Star Wars Rogue One, and some other things too. And but this is our little special leading up to the big day. So next week you'll be able to hear, your regular host. But I wanted to do something a little bit different before we got everything kicking. So joining me today is, this guy. He's the biggest nerd I know. It's the one and only Chris Gray from Total Nerd Takeover. How you doing?
Good. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing wonderful. And it's been a minute since we've been able to just chop it up, talk some chop. And I know you're getting geared up for Game of Thrones, right? It's about to drop.
Yeah, we're getting geared up for Thrones. I haven't been doing a lot of podcasting like I had been in the past. We kind of put the studio, at least the podcasting stuff on hold. I still do my two YouTube channels, and I'm working on the It'sAppleTime.com website podcast, and I've been working on the Quit Smoking, like the Boss.com website. And now we're working on doing t-shirts, marathon runners, 5K runners, working on that. So all the podcasting is pretty much on hold except for Game of Thrones because that was one of our biggest audiences. And not to mention if I don't start recording soon, my hashtag Throny is going to come and punt me in the nuts.
That's right. We need you to help us navigate through that world of Game of Thrones. So I'm so glad that you are here. I love your show, and I love the show as well, Game of Thrones, and looking forward to having this conversation with you. Also joining us from Semicore Studios is the one and only Joshua Chitty. How you doing, Josh?
I'm okay. How are you, Kente?
I'm doing great, man. Tell us about Semicore.
Well, Semicore Studios is just my partner Kevin and I doing all sorts of things that amuse us. For instance, in the latest episode of SCOP, number 49, available at semicorestudios.com, I took a look at the Batman vs. Superman porn parody by Axel Braun and compared it to Zack Snyder's Batman vs. Superman. And the results may surprise you.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think one of them at least did the trick. So I think people got their money's worth with one of them. But we're going to find out, I guess, by listening to your show, which one, right?
Absolutely.
All right, man. I'm so glad to be here. And we had a couple of more people that are going to be joining us as this goes on. We have, of course, Rich Porchard, better known as Arpo. He'll be joining us as well. And a little bit later, King Penguin as well. And hopefully Yardley will join us too. So it's a jam-packed show. And I want to say, before we get into our discussion, it is that time of the year. We know we just had March Madness, but forget March Madness. We have our own special tournament that we love to do. And last year we did our cartoon heroes and villains bracket challenge. This year it's going to be comic book heroes bracket challenge, and it's a doozy. We have some great matchups, and Josh is one of the few people that actually seen the bracket. We're going to unveil it next week, but I can tell you who the four number one seeds are, and we have, of course, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and the Hulk. Those are all the number one seeds. So I think it's a good matchups that are in the first round, and some potential matchups going on later. And there's some matchups, and Josh can tell you that I think fans are going to be pissed that I put them together in the first round.
In the first round especially, yeah.
Yeah, there's some good ones. And there's one I'll give away. And I think this is a good one. In the first round, you get to see who would win between Quicksilver and the Flash. Now, that's a good one. And that's in the first round. So
nice.
So, yeah, that's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good debate. So that's going to be our official premiere next week. We're going to unveil the field of 64 and the brackets. They look really nice. Would you agree, Josh? The whole thing looks pretty cool, right? So,
I think it looks really cool. Some of the spots went to characters that, usually when you think of something like this, your first thought is Marvel, DC, but it goes well beyond Marvel, DC, even Image, and there are some people on there that deserve the spots, and I can't wait to see how the voting turns out.
Yeah, it should be good. All right, so since we are talking about comic book characters, and in our first topic of the day, we're going to be talking about Batman versus Superman. And this movie came out, I guess it's been about 2 weeks now, right, since the movie came out. So we're a little late on our review, but I wanted to definitely get our review out there of the film. Now, I saw it the day it came out. I've actually seen it twice in the theaters. And it's so funny. I remember telling someone, they asked me, a friend of mine asked me, had I seen it after it had been out for about a couple of weeks? And I said, yeah, I've seen it actually twice. And they were like, oh, you really liked it? And I said, don't read anything into me seeing it twice. I seen it the first day, and then I went with a friend who hadn't seen it. And, he's like, come on, see it with me. And he paid. So so I went again. But I'm going to start off with our resident Superman expert, Chris Gray. And feel free, let me say this first. If you haven't seen the film, we are going to talk about every aspect of the film. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, you may not want to listen, but we're going to talk about every aspect of the film. So if you haven't seen it, I feel sorry for you. So Chris, as our resident Superman expert, what did you think about the film?
I thought the movie was good.
I'm sorry, wait. I want to welcome everybody to Arpo. He's going to join the discussion. And Arpo, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, mute Josh, and then the echo will go away. Just mute Josh's blab window.
Try that. Is that better?
Yeah. Just mute Josh's blab window, and you're good. All right. Sorry, Chris. Take it away.
Oh, that's okay. So I enjoyed the movie thoroughly. I thought it was good. Of course, as a Superman nerd, I think it could have been better. There were parts of the movie I felt rushed. There was a lot of gaping plot holes, in my opinion. But for just being able to see Henry Cavill fly around, and that was awesome. I love him as Superman. I think he does a phenomenal job. And I honestly think that no disrespect to Christopher Reeve, who I love very dearly, but I think that Henry Cavill is the best Superman I've ever seen. In terms of the character itself, I think they did a phenomenal job. The darker, like Zack Snyder likes to do the whole darker kind of movie. It kind of reminds me of Watchmen, which I was not a fan of, at least the movies anyway. Well, not a fan. I think that could have been better as well. But Ben Affleck is what Batman I think really saved this movie. And Ben Affleck, I think pulled it off. I was 2 years ago when I heard. I think it was ago when I did a TRT episode, and I said, "Oh hell no, he's gonna suck." And I shit all over him. And I said I would eat crow, because he did a phenomenal job. I think that he made the movie. He made the movie watchable.
You know what, man? I have to say it, man. And first of all, I got to give one of the reasons why I wanted Josh on this show is Josh was always steadfast that Ben Affleck was a great choice. Now, he does have a love affair with Kevin Smith. Ben Affleck is one of Kevin Smith's Padawans. So I think that had a little bit to do with it, but he deserves his credit. He always was in. I shitted all over Ben Affleck, as a lot of us did, and we were wrong. He was the best thing about the movie. But then again, we can say this though, Chris. Maybe we gave him, the inspiration or the motivation to give such a great performance. So maybe we should take our bows because we gave him such a hard time, and he did such a great job. You can't look at it like that.
Yeah, let's look at it that way. We forced him to do a good job.
Right. So, Josh, I know you get a chance to bask in your glory because you always were pro Ben Affleck. So go ahead.
From day one.
From day one, yes.
As soon as they made the announcement, I said he was going to nail it. if only for the reason that this is Ben Affleck's favorite character, period.
That is true.
And if there was anybody that was going to nail how to play Batman, it would be one of the people that love him most.
Yeah, and I didn't even know about that until the movie was about to come out. So I didn't know that he had such a love affair with Batman.
Oh yeah,
As a lot of people don't know that, and we could do a whole show on this. Nicolas Cage was going to play Superman years ago, and Nicolas Cage had a love affair with Superman as well. But but I don't think he'd have been a good one.
Did you see the pictures of Nicolas Cage in the Superman outfit? And I think was he wearing the Kingdom Come Superman outfit, or is it the one? It looks like the S is electrified. I don't remember which one it was.
Electrified, yeah.
It was terrible. I mean, I love Nicolas Cage, and he's a certain kind of actor. I mean, Con Air is one of my favorite movies. But I just can't see him. When I saw the pictures, and Tim Burton, that's not a Superman kind of atmosphere. You know, maybe I'm wrong about that stuff.
Well, you know what, Tim Burton, his first choice for Beetlejuice, a lot of people don't know, was Sammy Davis Jr.
Really?
Yeah. That's something else. So, what about you, Arpo? What did you think of the movie Batman v Superman?
I think the movie suffered from one really basic flaw, and that is they tried to squeeze 2.5 hours of material into the first hour.
Yeah, they did.
After that, I mean, I got no arguments with the fight scenes and all that. I mean, that was all great stuff. But that first hour, I was just sitting there going, huh? I
thought the first 10, 15 minutes was great. I loved how they went back to Man of Steel and they showed it from Bruce Wayne's perspective.
Yeah. The tie-in was phenomenal.
It was great. Really good, and I liked the way they handled his origin, just making it in the credits. I thought it was very credible the way they did it. So for a minute, I was like, okay, maybe Zach. For a minute, I was like, Zach might have got it, and then
there was that flying little Bruce that kind of with those cats.
What the hell was that about?
Like he was, I don't know, Jesus or something.
I thought that could have been cut.
I was raising my middle finger to the screen.
I like because I'm such a huge Superman fan, and one of the things that really even brought a tear to my eye was when Superman was flying around doing his deeds, and the whole mindset of God, a man, a savior, overly powerful, whatever the case may be. Some people saw him as a hero, and one scene where he was in Mexico, I believe, all the people are trying to touch him, and like that to me is that's why I like Superman. That's why he's my favorite character. It's not so much that he is Superman. It's what he stands for in what humans could be like. Giving and helping, doing the right thing for other people. Not because you're going to get some kind of monetary reward, or because everybody is going to put you up on a pedestal. It's because it's the right thing to do. And that's what I really like about Superman. And I know that's a lot of people don't like that about the character. That he's kind of always got in the goody two shoe. But I look at that as a great role model as to how the human element should be in the perfect world, which is never going to happen. And then you have the opposite with the Batman character, who's darker, broodier, scarred. Angry. It did really good. That was a really nice mix too. But I really like those scenes where Superman was doing the right thing. They were kind of showing him his struggle between. I'm trying to do the right thing, but everyone thinks some people think I'm a bad person, or think I'm a superpowered God trying to take over the world. So there was a conflict. I thought they nailed that, but like Richard was saying. They squeeze too much in one movie. Like okay, let's try to make this the Justice League launch movie. Let's throw it all together and just throw it at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, and another. We're gonna break this up into different categories about this film because there was a lot to boo-boo on, and we're gonna start. The first big boo-boo I got in this movie is. Let me put my head down. Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor, or should I call him the Joker? Luthor.
You should call him the Riddler.
The Riddler. First of all, the guy is a good actor because there are a lot of people saying, "Oh, he's sucked as an actor." I think a lot of it was the material that he was given, but that to me ain't Lex Luthor. Who he played was not Lex Luthor. He kind of felt like, yeah, that's what I was about to say. He felt a little cross between the Joker and Mark Zuckerberg, from Social Network.
Yes, very much so.
That's actually perfect right there. You hit it right on the head.
Lex Luthor is like a genius,
Mhm.
I just don't see him as, the guy they had him in. And then that one scene with the Jolly Rancher, I would have broke his neck. I would have snapped his neck like he was Zod for doing that. The little Jolly Rancher scene. What the hell was that? Yeah. So
I just have to say, just as an overall comment, I mean, I agree with you 100% on Lex Luthor. I don't know what was up with that, but I think, hello, DC, just say no to Zack Snyder. He has ruined enough of your franchises. Stop using him, please.
yeah, I don't.
Haven't they learned their lesson after 300, after Watchmen?
Mm-hmm.
Sucker Punch. Ooh, don't get me started.
Oh yeah,
Sucker Punch. I thought that was sucker shit.
I
hated that movie, and I wasn't a big fan of the Watchmen. I mean, not the movie anyway.
And a lot of people, they poo-poo on me for saying that, but I don't like. I just don't like the way Zack Snyder. It's so dark. I enjoy Man of Steel. That's still my favorite superhero movie.
Right.
But this movie was too pressed together, and they were on a good roll too. They had developed a good Batman character, like we said that they kind of did his origin story real quick, except for the whole floating, Bruce Wayne child was just kind of dumb. Then there was another scene in this movie, which maybe somebody here can educate me on, when Bruce Wayne is in the Batcave and he's like looking at some of that footage, with Wonder Woman and whatever. He falls asleep and has this dream, right? And then when he wakes up, he sees this like a future character trying to talk to him and say you were right. What was that about? I didn't really. Was that the Flash?
Yeah, that was the Flash.
I think we saw a preview of Justice League Part 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy was the guy that cast as the Flash.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure who that character was, and I wish they would have used. I know that they wouldn't, but the guy from the Flash television show, or somebody that looked more like that character, because I really enjoy the Flash on what channel is that?
CW.
Yeah,
CW, yeah. I don't know. I've been thinking I should give it another chance. I watched the first few episodes, and I kind of got tired of the solution every week being, well, maybe if I run real fast,
Yeah, that kind of continues, but it's not quite as bad as the season progresses. But yeah, it is a lot about having to run fast. I think it's. I think that's getting kind of overplayed. I can beat any character by running faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Now, on the other hand, Arrow, I'm a huge fan of that series.
Oh, I love Arrow. Although
I just started watching it myself.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but this last season, the last couple of episodes have been like, I don't want to say they've been bothering me because of the two people that are breaking apart. I don't want to spoil anything that hasn't seen it yet.
King Penguin, can you guys hear him?
Hello.
Yes.
Hey, it's King Penguin.
That voice you hear is King Penguin.
Hello.
He
The
joined.
disembodied King Penguin.
You hear a disembodied voice, everybody in the audience, and that's King Penguin. And we were talking about Batman versus Superman.
Oh dear.
And we were talking about I was just talking about how wonderful Lex Luthor. No, I'm lying. Lex Luthor was in this film.
You want to know something? Even though that wasn't Lex Luthor, I didn't mind him. I know it was distracting for a lot of people, but He was okay as far as a villain goes. He wasn't Lex Luthor, but he was.
He was the Joker.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess. Yeah. I don't know I don't know why they gave him the direction they did. I don't know why they said, "Hey, act like you've got a bit of Tourette's and just go with it."
Yeah. Act like a really crazy Mark Zuckerberg, like you were talking about, Kevin.
Carlos said it.
Like that speech that when he was doing that thing when he was bringing everyone together, and he had that speech, and he's kind of going off, and he's like, "Oh, like blah 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 blah." Like, what the hell? He's supposed to be like super smart. I don't know. I like Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. I thought he was an awesome actor.
Yeah, that was great. The toothbrush scene kills me every time.
Oh yeah, Lois Lane.
Yeah, I love it too. Okay, so also too, I'm about to get shot by the comic book aficionados, but shot by them. But I didn't know how badass Wonder Woman actually was. My only real remembering of Wonder Woman was the old TV show.
Oh God, that's funny.
I know. Look at it. He's like, wow, right? He's like, how do you not? I didn't know. Like when she stepped in and took that beam, I was like, damn, she could do that.
Yeah, but that's a funny thing. Okay, well, the version of Wonder Woman from this film is basically the Wonder Woman that happened because of Kingdom Come. For anyone who's read comics and everything, Wonder Woman before that was the ambassador of peace. She never had a sword, and Kingdom Come was supposed to show what would happen in a world where things take a dark turn for the heroes. Superman becomes a fascist. Batman becomes this weird recluse. Wonder Woman becomes the opposite.
Was it already?
Even weirder, okay? But
Okay.
warrior instead of the ambassador of peace. But much like with the Dark Knight Returns, which was supposed to be a darker version of Batman for the sake of saying, hey, look how far things could go if things go out of hand. People just latched onto that image and they said, no, that's cool, let's keep going with it. And so what was supposed to be a prophetic kind of warning about what could happen to heroes becomes what the heroes become in the end. So, and that's what Wonder Woman has become, because she wasn't. She was more like Linda Carter's Wonder Woman, to be honest. A bit tougher than that, but she wasn't a sword wielding Xena warrior princess type that she's become.
No, but I have to say, out of everything, well, I mean, Ben Affleck, I agree, was tremendous as Batman, but Wonder Woman was like a revelation. I was like, I like this Wonder Woman.
That's
I was
smart.
surprised too.
Yeah, I liked her. She kicked some ass.
Oh, yeah, no, I liked her. I thought she was good. We'll have to see if she can hold a movie on her own.
Right. That's good.
That's the thing. Can they write a good Wonder Woman movie? She's a tough character to write for because she doesn't have a set. I mean, if you look at her past, it is like if you look at the comics and the way she is in the past, it's all over the place. She's one moment this weird bondage princess, this fighter in World War II, then she's, then she's a liberated woman, then she becomes a super spy, and there's never been a core what is Wonder Woman kind of thing. And so it's going to be hard to write for her without making her either like a man with boobs or try to catch on to what a really good writer could do something with it. It's hard to say what they're going to do. She just might be Xena warrior princess, to be honest.
Carlos says that she's like Thor. She is a Wolverine. I didn't know about that. The only Wonder Woman I knew about was she's 100 years old. Yeah, she looks pretty good for her.
She was made of clay.
Right.
She rides on Pokey.
I was reading too
She
about
had an
it.
invisible jet. Now she doesn't.
I was reading about it, and I guess at some point Wonder Woman hooks up with Superman, which makes sense because she's probably one of the only few women that can take his super sperm.
Well, that's the thing. But she also hooked up with Batman too. If you watch the Justice League cartoon they had in the 2000s, she was basically got the hots for Batman. And those two sort of hooked up. So, like I said, she's different for every time, every age. So who knows what she's going to.
And she can't really take the super. I mean, she can take the physical punishment of the super sperm, but they still can't procreate. They can't have children because of the DNA thing. At least as far as I've read.
She don't get
now, I do
by it, but she can. Yeah.
I do think that the new Justice League cartoons, I mean, I don't like Superman and Wonder Woman as a couple. I like him being more connected to humanity with Lois Lane, because that's like a real, to me, that's like a real grounding rod for him in the connection to, to Earth, not just, with Martha and Kent, or Martha and, his father, his Earth father.
Mark,
But,
that's my mother's name.
Yeah,
that whole thing. I'm waiting to get to that because I'm going to shit all over that too. But I really do like the new Justice League cartoons. I think that they've been the new one, the Justice League versus the Teen Titans. I thought that was really good.
Well, let's get to that. The turning point in the film is the fact, I didn't even realize that they both had a mother named Martha. But apparently that means quite a bit, because it literally saved Superman's life in the film. And the scene when Ben Affleck, says, and if you haven't seen the film, I'm going to just let you know we're going to spoil the shit out of this movie, Batman versus Superman.
But it's for your own good.
Right.
No, the trailers already did it.
Right. So, yeah. So anybody, go ahead, Chris. What did you think about your mom's name Martha too?
That was like I'm watching the movie. I'm sitting in the theater. I mean, I'm it's Superman. It's Batman. My favorite characters, my favorite comic books, DC. It's all coming together. Even though the beginning was kind of, I was excited. Here I am. I've been waiting for this for so long, and here comes the fight, right? And at first I'm thinking this is very much like Dark Knight, and the next thing I know, he's on his back. Which, first of all, let me just say this: there's no fucking way that Superman would get his ass kicked that bad. I love Batman to death, but no way. Anyhow, moving right along. So he's laying on his back, right? He's got the killing shot ready to go. Lois Lane shows up and he's like, Martha! So what saves his life is the fact that he's saying, Martha! And he's like, and then Batman has the whole little flashback of his mother getting shot, and I'm like, what the fuck is this is the conclusion to this battle? Of all the things we could have done, we could have had Doomsday come flying out of nowhere, and that would have been better to me, more believable than the whole Martha thing. Like, I thought that was kind of that could have been used somewhere else, but in that circumstance, I thought that was kind of weak.
Why he would have said mom, right?
Oh yeah, no.
Mother.
This Superman is not connected to Earth at all, in any way, shape, or form. This Superman is a broody. Hates the fact that he's got superpowers. Because when you're invincible, you can fly and everything. It's a bummer. It really is. And so he's got no connection. Of course, his mother tells him that he doesn't owe the world anything. Just like Martha Kent would.
Well, at least he didn't go into the take my powers away machine so we can have sex with Lois Lane.
You know what? I prefer that. I think Christopher Reeve is probably still the best Superman they've had on film. I hate to say it, but I grew up watching him as a kid. That was the first movie I saw on my own. But as corny and cliche it is, he was actually Superman. This guy, I don't know who this guy is. Yeah. This guy's not Superman.
Now, I'll say though, the scene after that when Batman takes out those people in the warehouse to save his mother, to save Superman. That was the best scene in the movie.
Oh, the fight! Yeah, he stabs a guy. Batman stabs a guy.
That was,
and then he kills a guy, but he doesn't kill.
That was the best Batman scene ever. That was a great scene. And then I love, but then when he saves his mother, he's like, "I'm your mother." What do you say? I'm your son's best friend or something like that.
I'm a friend of your son's.
So
I kind of knew that because of the cape.
Right.
I'm like, who wrote this shit?
All the comedy in that entire whole dreary film was that line. That was it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Don't forget I thought she was with you.
Right.
They could have
Which
thrown
didn't
in.
make any sense because Batman practically gave her an engraved invitation.
Right.
She's with you, Batman.
They could have had some. They could have had some humor in this movie if they would have thrown like Jimmy Olsen in there stumbling around with the camera.
He was in the movie.
But I mean, like, not like in there stumbling around like an idiot, and Clark isn't as clumsy. This is a different kind of Superman.
Yeah.
You catch the Jimmy Olsen cameo?
What, are you saying the guy in the beginning was supposed to be Jimmy Olsen?
The guy that got shot in the face in the desert? Yep.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
Okay.
You find out in the credits it's Jimmy Olsen.
Now, like I said, I'm not a comic aficionado, but let's talk about the creation of Doomsday. Arpo, what'd you think about that? Because one day you can learn all of Kryptonian's information.
Yeah. I don't know where they got that from. Okay, I read the Superman versus Doomsday stuff, and I read the Death of Superman, and all the four Supermans that came out of the woodwork, and then how Superman came back. Which I was like, "What is this?"
It's quite simple. It's simple science. You take a dead Kryptonian, put your hand, pour it over him, put some goo on there, let it cook for a couple hours, and you've got yourself a Doomsday.
Everybody knows that.
But they never tell us what's in that goo. I guess that's so we won't try it at home.
So
Garlic.
We put out some of the steps, but
Oh,
It's like a lot of Kryptonian DNA, if you catch my drift, that had DNA.
Was that
right, the spawning pool, right, right, and
That Doomsday thing, that was why? Like, Doomsday was a character that they should have saved for later film. Build up the emotions of the characters, and what they're doing is they're like, okay, Justice League. Well, wait a second. We're just being reintroduced to this. We're just starting to feel connected to this new Superman, Henry Cavill. We're just starting to see what kind of character that they're writing here. What kind of Superman? We've just been introduced to the new Batman, who doesn't sound like that. We've got a good Batman, and instead of letting that character simmer a little bit and build up, and then build up the team of the Justice League, instead we're just going to be like, yeah, we got some. We got some DNA from Kryptonian. We're going to add some Lex Luthor's goo juice in there too, because he's got the. Why don't we just throw a whole bunch of in here, and then they should have just sent this goo to the fucking sun and made another one of the nuclear men.
right.
Oh, wait, now nuclear.
Okay.
I would have clapped if Nuclear Man showed up out of that.
I would too. If they would have used the original actor too when he lands.
Wait a minute,
Superman now.
was that?
It's got to have Hackman's voice.
Wait, wasn't that?
Yeah.
That wasn't Drago. What's his name? Dolph Lundgren.
No, that wasn't him. That was I forget the guy's name, but
Oh no!
Yeah. So yeah, Darkseid was Darkseid. I'm sorry. Doomsday was pretty terrible.
Spoiler! Don't you ruin the
Yeah.
next film.
So Josh, were you
Yeah.
buying Doomsday?
What's that?
Were you buying Doomsday? The Doomsday scene.
No, not at all. I also remember reading the whole Death of Superman arc, back in the day when Doomsday was on a cross-country tear and everybody trying to stop him, and Superman's like the last guy to stand in his way. He's killing people left and right. Heroes going down. And it was a major event. Not just in comics. It got mainstream news coverage.
he was on the front of the
Death of
newspaper.
Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And then to see it just relegated to this 10-minute fight at the end of a movie.
Yeah, and he looked like one of the ogres from Lord of the Rings.
He did. You know what he looked like? Have you ever seen
Cross with Snoke.
what was that?
Snoke.
Kratos, the game God of War or something?
God of War.
Yeah, or Gears of War. Actually, he looked like one of them creatures from Gears of War or something like that. Yeah, that comes from the ground or something like that. Yeah, it was.
They ruined this. They could have.
Actually, there's an old movie that was made by a bunch of college students called Equinox.
Mm.
And he looked like one of the monsters out of that. I mean, it was just like ridiculous.
Yeah, well, ridiculous has to be like. I'm trying to remember what the reason Batman hated Superman for in that movie. Because, he was destroying stuff and that made Batman mad. But do you see how much destruction Batman did in that movie and how much disregard for human beings' lives he seemed to have?
Right.
And the fact he murdered so many people in this movie.
And Brandy.
He has a higher death count than Michael Keaton's Batman in both of his movies.
I just never understood. They were supposed to have different ideologies, but they really weren't all that different.
Right. No.
It was like, I can't have you destroy this planet because you're an alien. That's my place to destroy.
That's what it felt like. Yeah. How dare you step on my toes?
You go to your plan to do that shit.
My turn.
Bruce Wayne's a rich white guy that doesn't like illegal immigrants.
That's
But pretty much, he's a one winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I had a real
Guess who she's
problem
voting
at the end of this movie, but I'm afraid to discuss it here because I don't want to ruin what happens.
No.
no, the movie ruined what happened by having it happen. So
No.
don't.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. My question is, we all know Superman gets his power from the yellow sun.
Right.
Mhm.
That he's kind of like a battery. He's kind of like a solar battery. He charges up, and that's what gives him his super strength. So he's defeated by Doomsday. Why would they bury him underground?
Well, because he was dead, as far as they were concerned. I mean, I'll give the movie.
But now how's he going to come back to life? Because ain't no light going to get to him 6 feet under.
Yeah, unless he's, you know what, Lex Luthor's going to break out. He's going to steal the body, put it in the jizz, and he's going to try to make it out of
Oh, he's gonna make a Bizarro. Isn't it Bizarro?
Zorro. There you go.
Oh, God, Bizarro will be next.
But you saw the dirt was floating like the
Oh, yeah.
Passion of Christ or something like that. So.
Yeah, you saw the dirt floating up on the
Yeah,
top of the
and
coffin.
that confused me too. You know, it's like a plywood box. Then it's this gorgeous black mahogany casket with Superman logo in silver on it, and then it's a plywood box again.
You're right.
Well,
What?
they had 2 funerals.
Oh no, there's 2 funerals.
Yeah,
They were
but
burying Clark and they were burying Superman.
yeah, but Clark.
Obviously,
They,
there's nothing in Superman's coffin.
but then the thing was they could have sprung for a little bit more for Clark though.
No, but you know
Yeah.
what? It gave you that kind of. Clark was a simple fellow. He grew up to be normal. He wasn't really a Superman in that sense. He was supposed to be an average. And I'll give you the movie this because I think that's the proper thing about Superman. He's supposed to be, Kansas bred and born kid. Well, not born obviously, but Kansas kid, right? Grew up on the farm with the mom and pop values, America and apple pie kind of thing, and that's what makes him like this great guy. It's not because he's Kryptonian, because the Kryptonians in some of the versions, are a bunch of dickheads, and he's
Yeah.
different from them because of his upbringing. Like-
Just about any
Aren't
version
exactly
of
angels
the
either.
Superman origin I've seen, all the Kryptonians are dickheads,
He's more
except
random.
for Jor-El.
Pa Kent's like, you know what? Maybe she'll let those kids die.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I hated that. I hate that. Is not Pa Kent.
Oh,
Yeah, that
And
wasn't.
Pa Kent's like, dude, you don't owe them anything. They're a
But-
bunch of jerks.
And just a few scenes later, he's saving a dog from a twister.
right.
So fuck people, save the dogs.
Yeah,
Save the dogs, Clark.
that,
Best friends.
yeah, that's pretty funny though. So the death of Superman, did it? It didn't surprise anybody, right? Once you realize Doomsday.
No, but they were like that.
Oh
was
yeah,
such a-
once Doomsday
It
was
was a
there, I was
fist
like,
bump.
oh well, here goes Superman. Bye bye.
Hey,
Yeah.
at least the bravery to keep him dead at the the dirt floating behind. At least they kept him dead at the end of the movie. I don't know if you've ever seen the cartoon version of Doomsday, but he's resurrected pretty damn quick after
Yeah,
that.
that's another thing that the cartoon, they should have stretched that out and made it like a 3 or 4 parter. I mean, there's so much more to it than what they portrayed, and I don't know that whole thing. Like, I feel like they rush it to market. They rush out a movie, whether it's a cartoon or a movie, and they're like, okay, here, buy it. Instead of the long game, where the people that are going to buy this movie and buy multiple copies and then buy all the merchandising are people like us, people that love the characters, love the nerd stuff. They're going to make a ton of money on the franchise anyway, but they could have stretched it out and created more character per
Yeah.
character and more stories.
It's better writing.
I mean,
Let's face it, this
can you imagine if they held off on Doomsday, held off on the death of Superman, what kind of orgasm Zack Snyder would be having with the funeral, with all of the pallbearers and the Justice League just gathered around.
The way
Right.
it should be.
And that would have been a proper Justice League movie. Is this that the actual Doomsday arc? With the way they did show it in the comics, which I agree was great. That whole buildup of this thing breaking out. No one knows what it is, and it's just terrorizing. And first it takes off a couple of guys, then you got large members of Justice League trying to fight this thing, and they can't do anything. That would have been a great movie. It could have even been a two-parter movie. Unfortunately, they like to make long movies that have no point. That are,
This is why Marvel didn't eat their lunch.
Now, what do you guys think about Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman?
No, the email.
Right.
Yeah, it's very nice that LexCorp has designed logos for these people.
Right.
That was really cool.
So their superhero origin was designed by some fruitcake.
Design something. You know what? We need a design for this Flash guy. I'm picturing a lightning bolt. Do it. Okay, great. Cyborg, use a C. I don't know. You got me. C.
Yeah, I think that they went a little bit. They're just trying to throw. I feel like they're trying too hard to play catch up to Marvel, and the only way that the only way they're going to be able to actually catch Marvel is if they slow down and build the characters. This movie should not have been Batman versus Superman. This movie should have been the new Batman, the introduction to Ben Affleck as the Batman character, and have a standalone Superman movie and a separate Batman movie.
Yeah.
And then, build these characters up. Do what Marvel did. Who cares if you copy?
Yeah.
It worked.
It worked. And what was great about Marvel is that before they did the Avengers, the characters were overlapping in each other's story arcs. And
first round.
This is the thing that DC has never done.
Right.
Okay? Back with Christopher Reeve and Michael Keaton, they could have started doing overlap stuff, and Marvel would have been blown out of the water.
Right.
Marvel wasn't even in the water at that time. Don't forget.
At that time, that's true. Yeah. Marvel had Nicholas Hammond on TV as Spider-Man.
Rubber ears.
And that's another thing that DC, I think, is doing really good on TV. But I think that Marvel's doing better on Netflix, and they're going to be doing even better because Daredevil is just phenomenal. By far, my favorite superhero television show.
Blew me away.
That second season's unbelievable.
Josh, I know your boy is Ben Affleck. So taking this out of the equation, do you think it would have made a big of a difference if Christian Bale was played Batman in this, being that they had already established it?
Yeah, I think it would have made a big difference. It would have given us a character that we have been following for quite some time. We're more invested in. But I still think Affleck is better Batman than Bale.
And better Bruce Wayne.
And actually, the way that Batman, what was it? The last one, Batman Resurrected, whatever the hell it was.
Dark Knight
Rises. The way it ended, it kind of would have dovetailed into it because he retired.
That had a nuke too.
True.
All right. So, all right.
Still don't know how he survived that, but okay.
All right. I'm gonna start off with you, Josh. From how many stars would you give it out of 4?
Out of 4?
The 4 being
seems a really weird number. 4.
Yeah.
2.75.
2.75.
It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not what I'd consider good. It's that place in the middle that really touches on a lot of stuff that I wanted to see, but drops the ball just as a film.
Now, if Kevin Smith wrote and directed it, how many stars would it have got from you?
27?
Yeah, I bet. I know.
Easily.
I should say.
Love that guy.
37. There we go.
All right, King Penman, 4 stars
out of 4.
Yeah.
Well, geez, it's you know what? At the time I'm watching it, I was enjoying it. There was many moments where I'm going, "What the hell?" Too many dream sequences that came out of nowhere. When the Bat Cyclone was lifting him up, I was ready to walk out of the theater at that point and go, "Oh my God, no! What is it? What are they doing?" However, there are moments I like the setup at the beginning. I liked actually where Bruce Wayne is seeing the destruction, and there's actually some sort of repercussion to what happened in the previous film. Obviously, they were trying to, make up for all this stuff. Later in the film, they made a point of going, "There's nobody in this area that's been destroyed. Don't worry about it." It's like, okay, whatever. But it was a mishmash. I liked Batman if he wasn't so murdery. He just killed way too many people. And so I get it. He's an older Batman. He's now into branding people and killing people, and Alfred seems to have no problem with that. So
you kill more in your old age, basically.
Yeah, I guess
he's just lazy. He doesn't want to hold back that throw.
Normally I wouldn't shoot you, but I can't be bothered to chase you down.
I'm just getting too tired for this. I'm getting too old for this shit.
That Torino
with the flames coming out of the back. That's classic Batman. I love the costume, going back to more of the gray and black. I thought he looked great as Batman. I thought he did a great job as Batman. You notice I'm not saying much about Superman. I'm as much as Cavill's doing his best, he's still bland and boring and a little too whiny. And I just don't buy this Superman. I don't know why anyone thinks he's a hero. Aside from the fact he could do fantastic things, he's just too. I would be afraid. I'd be one of those people that protesting. I'd be afraid this guy was around, because every time he got into a fight, hundreds of thousands of people die. I mean, he goes to save Lois. He drives a guy through a brick wall and says, "I didn't kill anybody. There is no way in hell that guy survived that." I'm sorry. You're going through the sound. I think he even broke the sound barrier going through that wall with that guy in his arms. So what came out on the other end was like Superman holding a big pile of goo and some torn clothing. That would be awful.
He was holding some DNA.
I didn't kill anybody. That wasn't my fault. Yeah, okay, Superman, take some responsibility. You murdering monster.
How many stars?
Sorry, I'm giving it 2.
Stars.
The potential was there. It didn't live up to it. It was a mess.
All right, Arpo, how many stars?
Basically 2, but I'll bump it up to 2.5 because I really did like Ben Affleck as Batman far more than I thought I was going to. Like you, I didn't realize that Batman was Affleck's favorite character. So, he's just automatically going to try a little bit harder than he did for that god-awful Daredevil movie.
Yeah.
But, the special effects were decent. There's a few really kick-ass scenes. You can always expect that, at least from a Zack Snyder film, But overall, it was too much in too little time, and there's things that deserved, like we were saying about Doomsday, deserved to have their own movie, not to just be tacked on to the end of this one.
All right, Chris Gray, what do you give this film?
I'm going to give it a 2.5. I'm a huge Superman fan. I actually think that I like Henry Cavill as Superman. I just don't think that they're writing him properly in the right direction. But I think he's got the chin, the jaw, and he's definitely got the build. He's built like a brick shithouse. Ben Affleck definitely saved this movie as much as I had to put my foot in my mouth, because 2 years ago, I swear to God he was going to shit it up, but he did a phenomenal job. I think the Batman aspect saved this movie. Other than the fact that he killed a lot of people, the Batmobile was pretty cool in this movie. There was a lot of cool stuff that happened, but it was just a mishmash of cool stuff thrown into a pot and stirred up, mixed with some Kryptonian man goo. And I really wanted to love it. When I first saw it, I was blown away. I'm like, oh yeah, but that's because of the fandom, and I was all hyped up. When I watched it the second time, I realized, wow, they messed this up, and this was not so good. And even though I can nitpick this movie to death, 2.5. I love the Superman or the Batman outfit, and I also love the Superman outfit as well. The only thing I don't like about Batman's outfit is I don't like this particular bat symbol. I like it more like like the older version with the rounded edge. I don't know. I like the older version. Michael Keaton kind of, or even the Dark Knight stuff better. What's his name? I'm having a brain fart. Where's your drugs? What's that guy's name?
Wait, say it again?
The last the Dark Knight series.
Christian Bale?
The Christian Bale Batman. I liked his logo a little bit better than this one. This is more, it kind of reminds me of the old school Batman, like the Adam West kind of logo. But other than that, the gadgets were cool. The special effects were good. The soundtrack was really good. Lois Lane was hot. I would like to spank her on the bottom. But Doomsday was dumb. The whole Martha thing was like, come on, you could have ended this in such a better way. I was surprised though. I thought Wonder Woman did the girl. What's her name?
Gal Gadot.
I think she did a pretty good job.
Yeah,
I was impressed. So 2.5.
Now, also too, what I heard was that, and I don't know how true this is, but this is what's going out there, is that Ben Affleck supposedly basically redid all of his scenes. He supposedly remixed all of his scenes. That's why that's why his part was so good, because he is good at that. So
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So
especially since he's writing and directing the
Batman
standalone movie.
I believe it's completed already. The Batman. I mean, the scripted.
I'll give, you know what also I loved about this Batman? He did actual detective work. And he's never done that in any of the films.
Right.
This is the first time you actually see him go, oh yeah, there's World's Greatest Detective. Now I know why.
Right, he got his Jessica Fletcher on.
Yeah, so I dug that in this film. I think I can't wait. Actually, this movie only made me excited to see the new Batman film when it comes out. I'm not going to go see Aquaman. I don't really care about the Cyborg film. Flash, I don't even watch the TV series because I find him too whiny, but now that it's a different guy, I'm going to be confused. I don't like being confused. I'm an audience guy, and I don't like being confused. It makes me angry.
Don't you want to see Superman race? I'm talking about zombie Superman race the Flash in a movie?
Yeah, as long as it's exactly like the comic book, and they both win in the end.
Already.
And it's for charity.
I give the movie 1.5 stars. Very disappointed. Don't like Zack Snyder. I'll be honest with you, and you can get mad at me all you want. The only movie I liked of his was Dawn of the Dead, the remake. I did like it.
Opening number from Richard Cheese. Mm-hmm.
I didn't like 300. I didn't like
Watchmen.
I never seen Watchmen. I never watched it.
You didn't like 300, huh?
I don't like Zack Snyder. I don't like his work. I think he's a hack, and he's not one of my favorites.
I think Sucker Punch.
Can't argue those visuals though.
Scenes and visuals. He just has a dead ear for dialogue, and is doesn't know how to pace himself.
I think he's kind of Michael Bay's cousin. But not quite, because they're
Michael Bay's art school cousin.
Yeah.
He's his artier version of
Michael Bay. You're right.
I work in scenes instead of explosions.
Right.
But we use the same scripts.
I'm not a fan of Zack Snyder. I'm not on the Zack Snyder train. So I know people always want to shoot at me. You didn't like 300? No, the fuck I didn't. So, but I was hoping that maybe because David Goyer is usually pretty good with this stuff, but I think they need to give this to somebody else. This next one, somebody got to be able to do good with Superman. Somebody got to do it. So,
well, now that he's died and resurrected, at least then maybe they can give him some more character in the next movie and just explain it as well. He died and came back, and now he's a little bit different, but he's he's learned from his death.
Make him a zombie, make it
zombie Superman.
Yeah, and then they can have like a thriller scene where he's breakdancing.
Well, all I know is I can't wait for the comic book adaptation of Superman versus Muhammad Ali to come out in film.
Yeah, Will Smith is Muhammad Ali. Will Smith reprised his role as Muhammad Ali, and
fights. Oh man, that would be awesome. I would watch that film. I would be there.
All right, so Josh, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And once again, tell us how we can get you on social media.
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at SemicoreJosh, and you can check out all of my latest and greatest at our website, semicorestudios.com. And I guess if you on Facebook, go to facebook.com/SemicoreStudios.
All right, cool. So Josh, hopefully he'll stay in the chat room, but Yardley's going to come and take his seat. But while we're waiting for Yardley,
That's my seat.
while we're waiting for Yardley to come in, Arpo is going to hit us with a real discovery.
Yes, indeed. One that is quite apropos of the discussion this evening. Because with all of the hype and ballyhoo of Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, the question on everybody's lips was the same as the poster tagline. Who will win? Well, I won't tell you who won, but I can tell you who lost. The American movie-going public. Ooh, burn! However, I'm not here to talk about that. Instead, I thought it might be fun to hop into the Wayback Machine and pit the original Batman movie serials against the original Superman movie serials to see who wins the battle of the century. Now, for those who are unfamiliar with the concept of movie serials, they were Hollywood's attempt to lure audiences away from their brand new big screen 19-inch TV sets and into the theaters week after week. They were thrilling adventure stories, shown in an episodic fashion and featuring dashing heroes, damsels in distress, nefarious villains, and the occasionally scantily clad femme fatale for those who had no interest in nefarious villains. Stories would run from 12 to 15 episodes, each installment ending with the hero or damsel in some deadly cliffhanger, a car crash, an explosion, sometimes literally hanging off a cliff, from which there was no conceivable hope of escape. Audiences would have to return the following week to see how the situation resolved itself. Now, many of these serials were more popular than the movies themselves. They were the pulp fiction and comic books of the silver screen. And they did indeed keep the audiences coming back for more. Batman was the first serial to be based on a DC superhero. The Caped Crusader, played by Lewis Wilson, and the Boy Wonder, played by teen actor Douglas Croft, work for the government, trying to root out Axis spy rings. One such spy ring is operating out of a secret headquarters in Gotham City's Little Tokyo, now a virtual ghost street, quote, since a wise government rounded up the immoral hoods, end quote. The only business still operating there is a Chamber of Horrors-style ride where, for a time, you can view the atrocities of the Japs who launched that cowardly attack on Pearl Harbor. The ride is actually the secret entrance to the hideout of Dr. Daka, the leader of a spy ring made up of American hoods who hope to get positions of power after Japan wins the war. Anyone who refuses to cooperate is made into an electronic zombie. One such unfortunate is Martin Warren, uncle to Bruce Wayne's girlfriend, Linda Page. Batman and Robin spend the serial searching for Warren, rescuing Linda, foiling the villain's attempts to steal radium to power his death ray, and trying to track down Daka. I mean, who would think to look in Little Tokyo for a Japanese villain, am I right? Along the way, they drive off cliffs, get blown up in buildings, run over by trains, and even thrown into a pit of crocodiles. Yeah, more on that cliffhanger later. Only to miraculously escape the following week. Veteran character actor J. Carrol Naish is splendidly villainous as Dr. Daka. William Austin has a delightful comic turn as Wayne's butler, Alfred. Shirley Patterson is watchable as Linda Hunt. And Douglas Croft turns in a fine, non-campy performance as Robin. The weakness here is Lewis Wilson as Batman. Out of shape, he seems to phone in his part. He also gets the crap beaten out of him. A lot. Of course, to be fair, he keeps having to fight 4 hoods at once, but, and I never thought I would say this, he's no Adam West. 1948 brought us Superman, the first live-action version of this immortal comic icon. It is considered by many film historians to be the best movie serial ever made, although I am more partial to its sequel, which I will get to in just a minute or two. Now, this series starts with Superman's origin story, something that was overlooked in Batman. We witness the destruction of Krypton and baby Kal-El's flight to Earth, where he is found and adopted by the Kents. Moving to Metropolis, he auditions for a job at the Daily Planet by covering a mine cave-in also being covered by Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen. When Lois gets trapped in the mine as well, it's Superman to the rescue. Now, because it was based on the radio series as much as the comic, we are often treated to, this looks like a job for Superman, which was the only way the listening audience knew that Clark Kent was changing identities. Clark gets the job, much to Lois's disdain, and the two start working on a mysterious crime spree. It is masterminded by a femme fatale calling herself the Spider-Woman. Though Superman is able to foil her schemes, she manages to get her hands on a piece of kryptonite and is almost successful in destroying the Man of Steel. This serial is too much fun to spoil, and I do heartily recommend you find it and its sequel, both available on Amazon, if you are looking for some quality thrills. It's unfortunate that the special effects are not particularly good, but you will believe that an animated man can fly. And Kirk Allen's performance as Clark Kent / Superman is great fun and was no doubt an inspiration for Christopher Reeve's portrayal as well. Noel Neill plays Lois Lane as a fearless reporter willing to put herself in harm's way to get a story, and is rocking a longer hairstyle than usual. Check out the picture on her IMDb page. She was a babe. Tommy Bond's Jimmy Olsen is, as usual, the comic relief, but he is also a scrapper, not afraid to get into a fight when needed. The weak link is Carol Foreman as the villain. She just didn't work for me. After the success of Superman, Columbia decided to give Batman another shot in 1949's Batman and Robin. This time, they battled the Wizard, a mysterious black hooded villain who steals a machine capable of controlling any vehicle by remote control within a 50-mile radius? What? He needs diamonds to boost the power of the machine without overheating it. But Batman and Robin foil the Wizard's henchmen again and again. This serial actually has a pretty good mystery subplot, as our heroes try to deduce who the mastermind under the Wizard's hood is. There are several possibilities, and the final solution is a good one. Apart from that, there's little to recommend this serial. Robert Lowery, while a definite improvement over Lewis Wilson, looks kind of frumpy in a Batman costume that was originally designed for the much taller Kirk Allen. Connie Duncan as Robin looks like a 30-year-old ex-juvenile delinquent. He was 26 at the time. Jane Addams is lacking as Vicky Vale, the hotshot photographer who always fails to get the picture. The only redeeming feature of this serial is Eric Wilton as Alfred, played with panache and a wicked sense of humor. Wilton wisely kept his name out of the credits for this turkey. In 1950, Columbia reunited the cast of Superman for a sequel, Atom Man vs. Superman. Atom Man is, in fact, Lex Luthor in disguise because he has pretended to go straight. His ingenious devices include a transporter beam, a heat ray, a flying saucer, an earthquake creator, a spaceship laboratory, and a device that sends people into the empty doom. Sort of a poor man's Phantom Zone. Tired of Superman's meddling, he creates synthetic kryptonite and uses it to weaken Superman enough to send him into the empty doom, where he spends a couple of episodes trying to get back to Earth's dimension. The addition of Lyle Talbot as insane genius Luthor was an inspired piece of casting, and he plays the part to the evil hilt. This, in my opinion, is the best movie serial ever made. Pick up a copy from Amazon, and I think you'll agree. Well, the clear winner here is Superman. One of the problems with the Batman serials is that they relied too much on cliffhanger cheats. Batman goes over a cliff in a car. No, we find out he jumped out before the accident. This happens not once but several times in each serial. Batman is blown up in a cabin. No, he found a trap door and hid in the cellar. You get the idea. But the worst is the final chapter of the original Batman serial. At the end of chapter 14, Batman is ambushed and locked in a sturdy wooden crate. The crate is delivered to Doc's lair and thrown into a pit of crocodiles. The box breaks open and the crocodiles attack. The villains look on gleefully as we hear Batman's screams of agony. In chapter 15, we learn that Batman used his radio to send Robin a Morse code message. Robin rescues Batman from the crate, and the hood guarding it is knocked out and put in the crate in Batman's place. It's a 3.5-minute sequence. Holy Deus Ex Machina! Well, next time on Real Discoveries, we'll set the Wayback Machine for 1970, the beginning of the blaxploitation era in Hollywood, for a real treat. Godfrey Cambridge plays a white bigot. Yes, you heard me right, a white bigot, who wakes up one morning to discover his skin has turned black. It's Melvin Van Peebles' social comedy Watermelon Man, and I'll tell you all about it next week. But for now, I'll turn things back over to the idiot who was stupid enough to think these reviews were going to be good. Kinte and his jolly band of followers. Gang?
All right. Thank you. Watermelon Man, I haven't seen that in forever. Thank you so much for that. And, some of those plot turns sound pretty awesome. They should get those writers on the Batman versus Superman sequel. So, all right, I want to welcome back to the show. We just finished reviewing Batman versus Superman, and now we're about to talk some Star Wars talk. And joining us, we have the one and only militant marker himself, Yardley. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Enjoying the conversation y'all are having.
All right. And also, the disembodied voice you hear is Terry, better known as King Penguin. How you doing, King Penguin?
I am doing super fantastically good.
All right. So if you hear a voice coming from upon the heavens, it's King Penguin.
It ain't heaven. It's all right.
All right. So we're going to talk about a little bit about Star Wars. Now, the last conversation we had was we reviewed Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, and I think virtually we all pretty much liked it, except for King Penguin. I thought you thought it was okay, kind of a.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. Hey, I just bought the Blu-ray.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I enjoyed the film quite a bit. Of course, I had my issues with some of the stuff, but overall, I thought JJ did a great job. So now we have this movie called Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and you know what? I know a lot of people are crapping on the Star Wars story. Oh, that's not, if that's its biggest crime, the subtitle. I think that we're going to be okay. It's directed by Gareth Edwards, and Gareth Edwards, I believe he was the one who did Godzilla, right? That was his. Yep, that was his last movie, the Godzilla movie, and he's working on a Godzilla sequel too, by the way. So he's a pretty good filmmaker, and this story is essentially, for those who may not know, this is not Episode 8. This is not a continuation of The Force Awakens. In fact, what Disney is doing is they're having these standalone anthology episodes, and this is the first of many that are planned. And this one will take place in between Episode 3. Revenge of the Sith. I know everybody in this chat loved Revenge of the Sith, and and Episode 4, A New Hope. And this one is about the team that basically steals the Death Star plans. So this has been characterized as a war movie, and the first official teaser came out, and everybody's seen the teaser, right?
Yeah.
Right, and I know it's just a trailer, but it looked really cool. I really liked what I saw. I'll tell you, I'm gonna tell you the things that I liked that I seen in it. One was I don't know if you guys caught the what was the character's name from the Mon Mothma? I think her name. How do you say her name?
Yes, Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma. Yeah, I thought the actress they got playing her looks great.
It looks just like her.
Looks just like her. I like my boy Forrest Whitaker. You know, who we knew was going to be in it, as well as Donnie Yen, Ip Man. You know, it looks like he's kicking some ass in this film. We also got to see the AT-ATs, you know, which I thought was pretty cool, as well as we also had some mysterious figures. We have the man in white, which we don't know who he is, you know. So I imagine he must not live through this one because he never was in anything else. So, so
Random off expedient.
right, pretty much. But the cool thing, though, they didn't show in this one, but it's been pretty much confirmed, is that Darth Vader will have a significant role in this film, and they're probably going to save that, kind of like they did with Spider-Man in the Civil War trailer. But we're going to see Darth Vader in this film. I don't know if you guys knew that, and Darth Vader supposedly is going to be cutting heads off in this movie, which I think is pretty cool. So let me start off with you, Yardley, since you joined it. What do you think of the trailer, and you know, and what are you looking forward to in this film, Rogue One?
I thought the trailer was pretty solid, and what I look forward to the most is probably Forrest Whitaker playing a bounty hunter. He seemed to really set the tone in the trailer. I definitely like the musical beats in the trailer. I'm not really sure about Felicity Jones because I don't think that I've really seen much with her, but I'm willing to give her a chance. But there's something about her, or maybe it's her syntax, how she speaks, that makes me worry. But I think the movie should be fairly solid, and it's actually in a position where if it doesn't do well by Star Wars standards, which is really damn good by most people who make movie standards, I think they'll be all right. But it definitely has to be something, since it's a standalone. We definitely need to have a resolution to this conflict. So at least we know we don't have to wait. We're going to find out what happened in about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yes. So, Chris, you also are another one of our resident Star Wars aficionados. So, what'd you think of the Rogue One trailer?
I think it looked good. What I really liked was the attention to detail that they're using the Stormtrooper uniforms from the original trilogy. And they're not like, they look very, I mean, I paused and I looked it over really well, and it looks really nice. And it has, even though it has like a newer modern like camera, I don't know how to describe that, like filter, it still looks like it's going to be a phenomenal movie. And I am so looking forward to seeing a real Darth Vader, like the Darth Vader that I remember reading about, where he was brutal when he was hunting down the Jedi. Seeing him lop off a couple heads and being like, "Hey, I'm the boss, bitches." Like, that's what I want to see. That's the Darth Vader I want to see. So I'm looking forward to it. It just looks really authentic. Like the technology in this movie, even though it looks similar to the other Star Wars movie, like the Force Awakens, it still has that throwback feel. The X-Wings, they look like they did in the original trilogy. So I'm really looking forward to it and seeing this story unfold. The only thing I'm kind of leery about is that it's like we're going to steal the Death Star plans, but if I remember correctly, didn't Darth Sidious, or the Emperor, didn't he I allowed them to steal the plans? You pitiful risen band.
And what did you think about when you saw the AT-ATs in the?
That was awesome. I got goosebumps.
Yeah,
I got goosebumps. I was like, "Wow, this is going to be better than Batman vs Superman."
That's not that much of a stretch, you know.
I know. We're not going to have Kryptonian Mangu in a vat either, so that's a good sign.
Hey, don't discount that. It may show up.
So Kingpin, then what'd you think? Rogue One.
You know what? Once again, I get sucked in. I saw the trailer. I loved it. I was excited. I couldn't wait to see it. And I thought about it, and I'm going, well, I know what the story is. Yeah, they're going to steal the plans. None of them are going to make it, except for maybe one person who hands it off to Leia, and that's the story. But, hey, we're going to see how they did it, and that's going to be cool. Darth Vader, well, I mean, I'm old enough now. I saw Star Wars when it first came out. Darth Vader originally, he was basically not the shark, but in James Bond, he was Jaws in that film. He wasn't the main villain. He was the big, scary flunky to the villain. So now he's been retconned. He's going to be more badass and scary and everything. But I don't know. I like I saw the AT-ATs and I'm like going, that is awesome. I remember when I was a kid, I went to see Empire. And that first scene when the AT-ATs came, that was my favorite scene, was the battle on Hoth. Love that thing. Just watching those AT-ATs, I was like thrilled and everything. And that was when it was, herky jerky and you could see through the planes and all the bad, special effects glitches and everything. Didn't care. Loved it. Saw them again and I was like, oh, I felt like a kid again. I really did. I'm sucked in. I'm going to go see this film. I'm definitely going to, and I'll probably enjoy the hell out of it the entire time. And then I'm going to come back and be the Star Trek fan that I am and start nitpicking the hell out of them, ignoring the fact that there's going to be a shitty Star Trek film coming down the pipes pretty soon.
Yes. Now Arpo, seeing the film, and it kind of gave me kind of a Guns of a Navarone meet Star Wars type feel to it. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I can certainly see that point. I'm looking forward to seeing the movie. I think I'm going to have the same problem with this movie as I did with the Star Wars episodes 1 through 3, which was sitting there and going, I'll bet you Anakin's going to turn evil. I'll bet you Yoda survives. I'll bet you Obi-Wan survives. It's like, where's the suspense? But I mean, it looks very slick. It looks very well made, and I love the fact that they went retro with everything. So many times, even though you get something like this where they're using newer technology than they had in the movies that technically followed it. You know what I'm saying? I've seen that happen so many times, and I love the fact that this one looks like it belongs in the space between 3 and 4.
And usually Donnie Yen, when I heard that he was going to be in this, I'm huge fan of him, and I kind of wish that he was more known out here, but then to see him kicking ass in there, it's like, you got Donnie Ip Man and Star Wars in the same. Come on.
And I was one of the comic strips that they carry in the Washington Post, and I forget which one. I think maybe it was Foxtrot, but I'm not sure. But the kid walks in with the paper going, I just found out Donnie Yen is going to be in the next Star Wars movie. I'm so excited. And the parent is like, okay, this obviously means something to you.
That's how I felt when I read it. To see him in the trailer. That's what sold me. Him and Forrest Whitaker doing their thing. Now,
love Forrest Whitaker. Can't wait to see him in this.
Now, I'm going to throw some speculation. I want you guys to throw some speculation. I don't think they've given out the name of the admiral, or I guess what would he be, an admiral? The guy in the white.
He's a grand admiral.
Oh, he's a grand admiral. Okay. So is there anything out about his character at all? Because I didn't see anything. Or is it just still a mystery?
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything either.
He might be just like that. What was her name again? Phantasma? Where she's in for a few seconds looking cool, but she's just nothing. Probably the same thing.
His cape was dope, though.
Well, this is obviously the guy that Fishhead replaced as Admiral.
Oh yeah, Admiral Ackbar.
He must be the guy that was head of the Death Star, because they showed him on the bridge, like in the Tarkin, I believe.
But yeah, that's Tarkin, isn't it?
No,
he was there at the end of episode 3,
Yeah,
doing that plastic-faced cameo.
No. He's not Tarkin. The guy in the white. So I'm guessing.
I'll tell you, that's the origin of Lord Commander Snoke.
Oh, you think it might be Snoke?
No, I don't think so. I think Snoke's a piece of shit, but I have no idea who it is. I hate that no character, by the way.
Chick that they met in the bar with the asshole eyes.
My friend doesn't like you very much.
So I'm really interested to see. I'm imagining he must be the guy that screws up, and maybe he's the guy that screws up and lets the Death Star plans get stolen, and maybe because we know how Darth Vader handles when you screw up.
He left it in his cape, and they picked it up, and then he's like, "Oh shit! Shouldn't left it in the cape." Darth, you what? You left it in your what? You die.
So Yardley, I know you're a big Darth Vader fan, right? As we all are. So obviously, there's certain things we didn't see in the original trilogy the original trilogy, not the prequels with Darth Vader. We're gonna act like the Anakin trilogy didn't happen. Now, what would you like to see Darth Vader in all of his glory do that we haven't seen yet, like on the battlefield?
Oh man, you know what? It's going to be hard for me to answer that because I don't want Darth Vader to overpower this movie away from the other people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that he's going to have. I think he's going to have a presence that's felt. Obviously, we're going to see him, but I don't think that we're going to get so much of him that's going to overpower Felicity Jones and everyone else. Because, as was stated earlier, we already know where this is going to go. But I don't know, because was Darth Vader, he's definitely stronger than everybody else, because most people at this point, the Jedis are pretty much on. So I guess full glory with him against regular people,
right?
It's not that exciting to me because I don't expect the regular people to have a chance. So I don't know, maybe have him take more of an authoritarian position. Do you guys think that there's going to be someone who's over him, like how Tarkin kind of, I guess, outranked him? Do you think that there's going to be somebody who might be a little bit better than him? Because I'm thinking the guy who's playing the Grand Admiral, I think his character is probably going to have more of an influence on this episode than Darth Vader.
I can see that, yeah.
Well, put it this way. If you go by the original movie, original Star Wars, when it was Star Wars, not New Hope and everything, Darth Vader was not seen as a badass by the people around him. You had that one guy sitting there, "We know your sorcerer's way, Vader. You're just hanging out with a dying religion." They had no fear of him. Grand Moff Tarkin could dismiss him easily, and he just shut him up. That's why I say he was originally conceived as the sort of, Jaws character, the evil flunky to Grand Moff Tarkin's villain. And you could see that. It's going to be difficult. They're going to retcon it.
I took him as being pretty much being the Emperor's lapdog.
But he wasn't even. The Emperor was nothing in that movie either. If you look at the first movie as it is, right?
Yeah, well, just the first movie by itself. Yeah, he's Tarkin's lapdog.
Mentioned that he's getting rid of the council, and that's it. So there's no idea that the Emperor is as powerful as he is. He became more powerful. But Vader himself, he was not seen as, they didn't take him. The other guys didn't take him seriously. And what were they? A bunch of bureaucrats sitting around at a desk.
Right.
They weren't anything horrible.
Yeah.
And let's face it, the most evil guy there, I'm sorry, Peter Cushing is a scary guy. And he's just a frail little bit guy in that movie. But he was a scary guy, but dumb.
He's like the Crypt Keeper.
Right.
But yeah, there is one part where doesn't Tarkin say something along the lines of, the ancient Jedi Order or whatever. You saw to that, like you saw to the extinction of that. I forget what he says, but he mentioned something like that. Yet still, everybody every other admiral still looks at Vader like he's a bitch, and like the way they backtalked him, and that one guy, like you were just saying with the Sorcerer's Ways, like this is Darth Vader,
Right.
And that's the thing. He's Darth Vader to us now because of what you know after the fact. At the time of the movie, he wasn't. He was this mysterious, weird flunky who was dark and brooding and was very powerful. I mean, he picks up a guy and throws him, breaks his neck and throws him and everything. He's got, the force choking stuff and pretty scary guy. But at the same time, it was kind of like these other guys never took him seriously. So all of a sudden, he's now the number 2 guy. And that never made sense to me because he becomes the number 2 guy, but no one ever treated him like the number 2. They just treat him like number 2, really.
So he's basically Chucky
In the first movie, definitely. I mean, let's face it. How did he get taken out in that first movie? One of his pilots went, "You're too close," and crashed. Yeah. I never quite got the fight pilot thing in those movies.
Yeah, but I don't think. I think they're gonna treat it. I think they're gonna treat him not like that in this movie.
Oh no, they won't. Yeah. It's definitely a retrocon kind of thing.
Right.
It's a tough one to. I'm hoping that I'm hoping there's not much Darth Vader in there because really, you risk becoming how do you not show a lot of Darth Vader if you got him in the movie? Right?
Have you ever seen played Battlefront, like the first one?
Yeah.
And then you be on the battlefield as one of the Empire, right? Mm-hmm. And then it'll be like Darth Vader has joined the fight, and you look to the left, and you see Darth Vader just messing up people. And, this is before you can
after
actually
troops disappear. And it's
right.
Oh.
So I think it's going to be like that. It's going to be like Darth Vader has joined the fight. And
I hope they don't. I hope they don't. I hope they keep him as off in the periphery as possible because really, if the film wants to be a film on its own that really works and it's going to be interesting, give us new characters, give us new villains, and let us enjoy a story where the villain could die or the villain could survive. I mean, if it's Darth Vader that's the main villain, he's not going to die. And that takes away some of the tension.
But now think about this. I mean, Darth Vader is pretty vicious at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Right.
Yes.
And he continues in that vein with this movie. Wouldn't it be interesting in this movie to see him go from totally ruthless to, I'm your bitch?
Yeah, and that's okay. That would be an interesting story arc. It's like he's like, "Oh, no, I'm going to destroy you all," and then Grand Moff Tarkin slaps him in the face and says, "Shut up! You sit over there and wait."
I'd like to see him hunt down the Jedi. I would like to see a movie where he's out there hunting them down. I want to see the real Darth Vader, not the puppy pal.
Right. I mean,
who knows? If they want to do a Star Wars movie once every year, I think they're going to just drain that sucker right dry. So we'll see. Baby Darth Vader.
Well,
we're going to see a Yoda movie too.
I wouldn't.
Really?
Oh, we're gonna get to that in just a second. But I want to say though, from what I've read though, he's supposedly going to be in this movie, and he's going to be cutting some heads in this movie as well. So unless that's not true, but there were pretty good sources. So and from what I understand also too, that initially he wasn't going to be in it. They decided to add it later. So, but
you know why they did? I got an idea. Because every kid that I've talked to, and my son is 4, so he interacts with a lot of other kids around, and I see a lot of these kids, because they're like, oh, this is, that's Brian's dad, and they're all like, hey, and anyhow, I always ask them, do you watch Star Wars? And a lot of these kids are watching. What is that show? The Rebel show on Disney Xfinity or Disney XD or whatever it is. And Darth Vader's made an appearance several times. So a lot of the kids say that they love Darth Vader, and some of the kids even think that this new villain from The Force Awakens is Darth Vader. So these kids are all saying that their favorite character is Darth Vader. I mean, I've had to at least hear 10 or 15 kids say that. So I
Right.
think that Disney's like, we need to
Kids,
capitalize on
we got to put him in more movies.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Emperor Palpatine probably is going to make some sort of appearance too, I would imagine.
Oh, nobody likes him.
Well, I mean, he's around obviously at this point. And, is that actor alive? Is that actor still alive?
I'm signing
Yeah.
more.
Well, he got to be old now, so he probably looks
He was at New York Comic Con 2 years ago. He had a line longer than Doctor Who had.
like I believe it.
Longer
Really?
than Matt Smith, which I mean, Doctor Who, that's one